Hey guys, it's me, and I just thought I would do a little ramble thing while I drive to my friend's house. So, I guess I should turn on a light. Nope. So, I've just been thinking a whole lot lately about how we fight. We seem to fight certain things in the craft at large. You know what I mean? Like, there are some things that we question, and then some things we just don't question. And it seems to differ from individual to individual, but also at large, there seem to be some truths that we've just accepted as a community. Also, I'm sure this is fascinating to look at, like, just darkness. But, yeah, like, I just think it's weird, like, goblins, for example. And I've brought this up a couple times. But, like, I really love goblins. I love working with goblin energy and with goblins themselves. But a lot of people don't even mess with goblins because, you know, there's so much focus on, like, fairies and elves, merfolk. But I feel like nobody gives goblins the time of day because they're seen as, like, gross, like, grotesque. Oh, this is going well. Grotesque and, like, negative spirits and, like, trickster spirits. And I don't know, I just don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair. I really don't. Like, why did you accept that belief, but then you believe that fairies and such are, like, benevolent, sweet-ass creatures? I don't know if some of you aren't like that, and you're gonna be like, no, trickster spirits are fae. Or fae are trickster spirits. But let's be honest, the majority of our community looks at fairies the way Christians look at angels. And look at other spirits like goblins, like demons. Something to not be touched and worked with. I just think we need to reevaluate what we accepted as truths because we read it somewhere when we first were starting out. You know? Or because someone on the internet told you so. You know what I mean? Like, I would just think that as a community we're smarter than that. Like, we're not in some dogmatic religion, so why are we acting like we are? Maybe it's human nature, but I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want it. Yeah. Like, I just don't think that's right. It's the same with terminology. Like, we have to, we have to use the word witch and Wiccan and nothing else to describe ourselves. Like, why? Why can't we have fun and be colorful? You know what I mean? Like, why not? Why not call ourselves sorcerers and sorceresses? Enchanters and enchantresses? Doesn't that sound so much funner than witch? I don't know. I guess it's just me. Because I know people really do like the word witch. It's just so bland for me. And I just don't feel connected to it either. Also, just because I'm not, I don't know, I'm just not a witch. It doesn't describe me. And I know people looking in, it would. They'd be like, well, you're definitely doing witchcraft. Like, we've seen you do spell work and stuff, and the way you do it is definitely rooted in, like, witchcraft or Wicca. I don't know. I feel like my path is different. You know? And so I like warlock. Warlock craft. Warlockery. But yeah, goblins. Also, I will link the videos down below. But I have been on Jasmyne Ambosia's channel quite a bit recently. I think I've done like 4 videos with her. I'll link those down below if you didn't know that. They're really fun. We just go live and talk. Usually about a subject. but you know how that goes when you get two people together or more. There's been several, most of the lives, only one live was just the two of us. But when you get a group of magicians together, you know, conversation's gonna go into a bunch of different places. But yeah, like, that is really the thing I circle back to. I just keep thinking about, like, challenging ourselves, rethinking definitions in magic, you know? I think it's important to do. It helps us grow, not stay stagnant, or not become stagnant. But I feel like most people just never even get to that point where they want to question anything, you know? Yeah. Also, I am starving, and my head is killing me. Oh my gosh. I'm going to my friend's house. She was like, hey, I'm making fajitas, come over. And I was like, well, I'm there. But I am really hungry. I'm just now realizing. I think all I've eaten today is like a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios. So, yeah, I'm pretty hungry. Ugh. Famished. So, I've got a whole lot of books coming in the mail right now, and I plan on doing like a book haul of them. Many of them though are just rebuys, because I'm really bad about buying books and then giving them away to people. Because I read them, I enjoy them and love them, and then either I think I'm done with them, so I give them to someone who is interested in them, and then I realize I still wanted them later on down the road as reference. Or sometimes I will get them, cherish them, love them, and they become like a staple book in my collection. But then someone crosses my path, and that book is obviously just meant for them. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm really bad about that. So some of the books I bought are staple books that I'm re-adding. Some are books I had before but didn't really read when I had them, but now I want to read them. But yeah, I'll do a video on those. You know, I keep thinking about videos that I want to make on subjects that I feel like no one ever covers. Or well, I guess I should say I want to think about that. But it's really difficult to think of subjects that no one really has covered to my satisfaction, honestly. Because there are a lot of great videos that have fulfilled my satisfaction of those topics. But I guess I should just make them anyway. Because what makes them different is that I'm talking about them. It's an individual, you know? I don't know. You guys should let me know down below what kind of videos you want to see made on this channel, because I will totally make what you want. Like, I know in a video I made recently about Lilith and Christianity at large, I touched on God having a wife, and someone said, could you please make a video about her, God's wife? So absolutely, I just need to compile my information together. And I will make a video about God's wife. Absolutely. Because that's a fascinating subject. I mean, like, truly. Oh, train tracks. Oh, double train tracks. Okay. But yeah. God's wife, definitely a video I want to make. I keep wanting to make, more videos about different paths besides Wicca and Witchcraft, because I feel it's important to spread those to people, because people just kind of settle for Witchcraft sometimes when maybe their true heart, you know, their path lies somewhere else. So I really want to make a video about like Druidry, Asatru, Thelema, Strega, Centaurea, like all that, you know? But that's a lot of videos right there. Yeah. Yeah. But yes, please do below. Just leave something about what you think I should make a video about. It could be something simple. Like, just make a video about water. How to work with water energy or air. You know what I mean? That can be simple like that. Or talk about cauldrons. Or if you want me to go over the basics, I'll do that too. If you just want to hear my take on the basics. Which, if you've been with me long enough on this channel, you know that I take the basics and, like, either throw them away or come up with my own substitutes. I don't necessarily always work with basics. Also, while I've been driving, finally they're gonna pass me. There's been these people that were just, like, literally riding on my bumper the whole time. Like, how rude. Like, how rude. Ugh. Guys, I'm so hungry. Like, oh my god. I'm starving. I kind of feel like Trisha Paytas right now. You guys know Trisha Paytas on YouTube, I'm sure. Ugh. Because, like, I'm driving, I'm talking about how I'm hungry, and I'm just kind of rambling. You know, so we're in winter here in North America at the time of this recording. And I always think about Uller this time of year. He's a Norse god who gets no love. Like, no love. It makes me really sad. I love Uller. I think a lot of people want to dismiss him because they think he's just like a god of skiing. And he is a god of skiing. But Uller's so much more than just a god of skiing. Like, in his myths, it's not just me with my personal gnosis. You know what I mean? Like, truly, he is way more than skiing. He replaced Odin for a time. You know? Uller's awesome. I just love him. He's this winter king. He's this god of winter. That's awesome. Winter's my favorite season. Although I gotta be honest, this winter has been so disappointing. Like, here we are. It's almost February. And it has not been cold this year. Like, at all. I'm not even kidding. It's wild how warm this winter has been. I don't like it. I live in Alabama, so our summers are so hot and humid that I like a dry winter. But we did not get it this year. It is very upsetting. Very upsetting. You know, this is kind of getting deep for a moment, but when I was younger, like in my early 20s, I was naturally a very, very thin, like freakishly thin, skinny person. Very lanky, because I'm 6'2". My average weight was like 120 pounds. And I was just like so thin. My face was very thin. But it was like sickening. Like, I loved it. And I had super body confidence. Like hyper body confidence. I loved my face, my body. I had very long hair. And I just loved it. And I felt very elvish. And I worked with elves on a very, very deep level. In magic all the time. I worked with Freyr. And anyway, I loved elves. I identified as an elf. And that was me. But in the past 4 years now, since I was, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Yeah, so 4 years, my body has changed rapidly. And that's just aging, hitting like a second puberty, metabolism slowing down. It's just life. Well, anyway, so now I'm like a normal person, and I'm at normal weight. And my face is broader. My body is broader. Like, my chest got broader. My shoulders got broader. I got body hair, finally. And I gotta say, as someone who identifies as non-binary and who worked so closely with elvish energy, it has been really hard on me. Like, really hard. It has completely shaken my self-confidence. Completely. And I think that's why I embrace goblins so much now. Because now I identify as a goblin. More so than an elf now. You know? Ugh. Side note. I hate this turn that I'm making. I hate it. This area to turn on is just trash. Anywho, yay, we did it. But yeah. I just wonder... I wonder what aging is going to look like for me. Because when I was young, I was so tied up in being thin and lanky and like effortless. You know what I mean? And Mom, we're in our 30s now. It's not effortless anymore. But yeah. Also, I find as I've entered my 30s, the way I work, like the gods I work with, have changed so much. So like 2 nights ago, I think, I did a dark goddess live with Jasmyne and Ambosia. Again, all these videos will be linked down below because they're on her channel. And anyway, we talked about the dark goddess, and of course, the majority of the topic was about the Morrigan, who is dear to me. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I work with the Morrigan, particularly Morgan Le Fay. That was how I came into this path. And I worked with her for years. And I mean, I still work with her. What am I saying? She just has a place on my altar, like a picture and everything. But anyway, however, I don't work with her like I used to. It's weird, it happened subconsciously. I've moved over to working with gods as opposed to goddesses at this time. And it's really interesting because I never thought I would come to that point in my life. I think, again, it does have to do with me aging, becoming a little more masculine in my body. So, I think it's that. I also think that I used goddess work to work through a lot of my mother issues. And I think I've gotten to, a point with that right now. So I guess I'm working with absentee father issues now. But if we're getting really deep. But yeah, it's like I went from working with just Vivian, the Lady of the Lake, and Morgan Le Fay, and they were like my main two. That was what I worked with. It was 2 matrons. To now kind of working with 2 patrons. Like almost always now I'm working with the Dagda and Odin. And it's been awesome. It's been awesome. Like, I love it. I love it. But I just can't believe that happened for me, I guess it goes back to what I said originally in the video, which was like, why do we accept some things as truth and other things we take as mutable? I guess some of the things I took as truth for myself, I've had to let go of. Which is a good thing. It's a good thing. But it's just interesting, to look back at your own timeline and see how you've changed and grown. Like, I am not the 13-year-old boy who got into magic. I am not the 15-year-old boy who borrowed a neighbor's tarot cards and hid them under my bed and obsessed over the images and looked at them. I am not the 17-year-old who obsessed over the soundtrack of the musical Bombay Dreams and would dance around my room pretending like I was Shiva, destroying shit. Like, I'm not those people anymore. I'm not the young 21-year-old who was living by myself with no roommates and totally made over my entire apartment. Every corner was a magic corner. And I did channeling sessions every night, read cards for strangers every single night. Like, none of those are me anymore. It's kind of fascinating just to see how I've changed and grown, you know? It's interesting. Anywho, this has been definitely a ramble. And if you watched it, thank you very much.